In this thing. Let's go. What if I told you you can build $1 million business and do it in 12 months? Would you believe me? Listen, let me make sure I got Instagram spun up here. Okay, yeah, we live. We in this thing. We in this thing. Hey, welcome back. Today is what, February 2nd. We got Black History Month, man. We had Groundhog Day. We got a lot. Grammys just happened last night, so it's a lot to celebrate. And I would like to thank you for joining. Thank you and welcome for joining. As you know, we're building $1 million business, and we're taking it each and every day. Hey, thank you for joining, family. I want to make sure you understand. What if I told you, real talk? What if I told you you can build $1 million company and you can do it in 12 months? Would you believe me if I told you that it's possible? Well, it is. And what are we doing? Each and every day, we're going behind the scenes to show you just basically, how the sausage is made, so to speak, right? Because we're building $1 million business. Today is February the 2nd, 2026. And if you're just now joining, it's your first time here, today's episode 16, meaning there's 15 other previous episodes. And I get it all the time. People slide my DM. They're like, man, the information you give is always powerful. There's tons of insight. It's valuable insight. How do I go back and watch the other 15? Because we're on episode 16 today. Two things. One, there's going to be a link, my top right-hand corner. You can scan that link no matter where you're streaming from, whether it's TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, or there's that scrolling banner. But use the link. You want to go to either my YouTube page. I already created a playlist for this. It's called Building a $1 million Company. Or you can go to my LinkedIn page, and then you can go to the events tab underneath my profile, and I have all the videos there as well. Each video, they're only 30 minutes long. What are we doing? We're building $1 million business, and we're doing it in public. Like, this is real talk. There's no filter. There's no AI here. The only thing I have in front of me is a couple of talking points, and then I'm just running through this together. So the goal is to show you that it's absolutely possible to build $1 million business and do it in 12 months. We kicked this thing off on January the 11th. So technically, where are we at? We're less than 30 days into this thing. And so far, we got a landing page. We got a website set up. We have subscriptions rolling in collectively across LinkedIn and the newsletter. We have about a little less than 6,000 people that have already joined. So that means we're growing, right? We have some proof points. There's some articles that you can go in there and read to give you some insight. So we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. But you need to understand this. We're going to have some pitfalls. We're going to have some pivots. We're going to have moments of doubt. We're going to have all that's going to come as we're building this thing out over the next 12 months. So if you're just now joining, thank you for joining. Welcome and thank you. Happy Black History Month. You should know this. My name is Patrick Hart, also known as that healthcare guy across social channels, no matter where you're streaming from. Army veteran, former healthcare technology executive, sold a company at the end of 2018, became an entrepreneur about 3 years ago. Since then, I've been on this journey for growth and impact. And the impact that I'm trying to make is help people realize that you can truly accomplish those goals that you have for yourself. And what are we doing this year? We're building $1 million business, and we're doing it in public. So what if I told you can build $1 million business? Would you believe me? Especially if we can do it in 12 months. Would you believe me? Would you even try to do it yourself? Well, it's possible. And our attempt is we're going to take you behind the scenes each and every day to show you how it's done. So that's my commitment to myself. That's also my commitment to you, is to really show you how it's done. And every single day, we're talking about something different. So if you're just now joining, remember, this is episode 16. There's 15 previous other episodes. You can go to the QR code, whether it's TikTok or on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever. Scan that, go to the YouTube page, or go to my LinkedIn page, and then you can watch the previous 15. So listen, I'm excited. I'm happy you guys are here. You always show me love, so I appreciate that. Today we're streaming across Instagram. We're streaming across LinkedIn. We're streaming across YouTube. We're streaming across TikTok as well as Facebook. So I'm bringing all my family into the fold. Wherever you find me, great. I appreciate you finding me. Here's the other thing I have for you. The chat box is wide open. What does that mean? As I work through my talking points, you have questions, drop them in the chat. Like, I try to work through this. This is not just for me, this is for you as well, right? Like, we're learning things together. I know a few things, but there's so many other things that I don't know. So as we begin to grow this baby up, you may want to chime in and say, hey, Pat, you may want to do this, or this is what I did in my business, or here's a contact for me. Like, let's share that information because we're winning this baby together. All right, my family's starting to come on board. TikTok is finally joining. I see you, family. Instagram is live in that baby. That's what's up. I love listen. I'm loving the energy. LinkedIn family always shows up, and then my Facebook family. They've been growing each and every episode, so I think that's 100% dope. Today, what are we talking about? Today, we're talking about the millionaire mindset. If we're going to grow $1 million company, half the battle starts up here. It really, really does. And maybe you've tried it before. Maybe you got your own business. Maybe you're an entrepreneur. Maybe you're a mid-level professional. You've been angling to get that corner offers, right? Half of the battle starts here, knowing that, hey, this is something you can actually accomplish. Do me a favor really quick as we get deeper in this. Drop your first name. I know there's some handles in here that I can't read. Like there's some funky handles depending on where you're streaming from. Your first name, what platform you're streaming from. That's going to be dope because once we get to that section where we start spending money, like on advertising, we need to know where to invest the money. Like where's the dollars and cents actually making the most sense, right? So that's why it's going to be helpful. I see you, TikTok. I appreciate you, family. Thanks for joining. Remember the links, the QR codes, top right-hand corner. You can scan those at any time. You have all my information right there. So if you need any assistance, let me know. Today, we're talking about the millionaire mindset. Listen, we have to think like we already made $1 million. And this is what we really have to do. We have to go into this baby thinking, I'm already a millionaire, or I've already made $1 million before. Because this is what happens, right? I'm gonna share with you what happens. Two people can run the same playbook, right? And one hits a ceiling and then one scales. The difference, it isn't talent, it's belief, right? So this is what happened. I can give you the playbook and say, hey, Jonathan, here's a playbook. All you got to do is follow every single one of these steps, right? If you follow every single one of these steps, I guarantee you'll make $1 million. I gave the playbook to two different people. This is what happened to most people. You give them the playbook, and then half of the people say, man, that playbook is pretty big. Like I got to follow all those steps to get $1 million. That's what half the people say. Or they say, man, this is too much work. There's no way possible. I don't care if I did follow that playbook. I'm not going to get $1 million, right? So you got one side of the table. The other side of the table would be like, hey, here, Jonathan, here's the playbook. All you got to do is follow the steps. You get $1 million, right? Jonathan, he leans into you like, so you telling me all I got to do is follow every single step and I'll make $1 million, right? And Jonathan thinking, man, that's awesome. You're just going to give this to me and I make $1 million. So Jonathan leans into it. Whereas the other person, they choose to discourage themselves. Already mentally, they're thinking, there's no way possible I'm going to make $1 million. There's too many freaking steps. There's too many obstacles. There's too many freaking pages. Like, nobody's going to do this crap, right? And so that thinking, if we're building $1 million, we already have to come into the baby thinking, I'm going to hit $1 million. Now, let me share something with you guys really quick, because I know so many people are new. This is your first time joining. What are we doing? We're building $1 million company and we're doing it in public, right? We understand there's going to be some pivots. There's going to be some setbacks. There's going to be some challenges. There's going to be a shitload of shit that we got to get through in order to build $1 million. But we're going into this knowing that the outcome is already $1 million, right? So we're technically less than 30 days into this because we kicked this off January the 11th. And right now we got a landing page. We have websites. We have a few automations. We have tons of subscribers already. You know what? Let me pause there on that. If you haven't subscribed to the newsletter yet, we have two goals this year, right? First goal is we're going to build $1 million company. The second is we're going to build an ecosystem with 50,000 subscribers within the newsletter, okay? The $1 million is for you, meaning I want to show you a proof point that you can build $1 million company in 12 months, right? The second part, the 50,000 subscribers, is for me because I'm building my own ecosystem. Once you have your own ecosystem, you have ownership over the outcomes, the information you share, all that control of influence is with you. You see what I'm saying? So the 50,000 is for me. The $1 million is for you. We'll work on this baby together. So today we're talking about the millionaire mindset. Listen, before I get into all the talking points, remember the chat box is open. You can drop any comments throughout this. I'm just going to work through my talking points, but I appreciate you, family. We're streaming live on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, as well as Facebook. Drop your first name where you're streaming from. That'd be great. Or slide in my DM. Let me know, especially if you get any value out of this. I appreciate it. We're on episode 16. So we talked about how you can give the playbook and the mindset of people. One set of people are going to feel like they can't do it. The other set of people is going to be thankful and grateful and they're ready to run with it. You need to figure out which one is you. Because if you're that person who's always skeptical that you can't do something, we have to change your mindset in order for you to reach the pinnacle of your particular success, whether that's career success, whether that's your business success, or you're going to, you're following my footprint and we're going to build your own $1 million newsletter. We have to start up here. Okay. This episode, listen, this episode and none of the episodes that I share with you, they're not about hype or affirmations. That's not what we're about. This is about reactions under pressure. Okay. How do we react when shit hits the fan? Your mindset shows up when things don't work, not when they do. You ever think that you hit a wall, you fell down, right? You're riding a skateboard, you fall down. And then a lot of people that ride the skateboard and they fall down and think, man, damn, oh, I hurt my knee. I hurt myself. I'm never riding that freaking skateboard again. Whereas there's another set of people, they fell down. They're like, man, that was a dope experience. I didn't like the outcome, but I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna get back on that skateboard again. See what I'm saying? So this we show up, and we show out. So that's what it's about. Here's the value add that I have for you. If you don't fix your mindset now, listen to this, okay? Because I think this message is pretty straightforward. But listen, if you don't fix your mindset right now, more strategy just gives you more ways to fail. Did he say that? Yeah, I said that. If you don't fix your mindset now, more strategy just gives you ways to fail. Like, think about this. I always have horrible analogies, so I'm gonna give you this one right here. Think about all those payday loans with those high interest rates. Anybody ever took out a payday loan before? Oh, it's just me. I'm the only one that's ever taken out a payday loan before with those high interest rates. They go from 20% to 700%, whatever it is, and a simple payday loan takes you like 3 years to pay it off. You ever been there before, right? Well, they're banking on you to fail. That's what those are about. They're banking on you to fail because they know if I can give Pat $1,500 and it takes them 4 years to pay it off, well, I'm gonna make $20,000 on Pat over 4 years because it took them so long to pay it off, right? Simple analogy, but that's the same thing that happens with our mindset, right? We think, man, if I had more tools, if I had more leads, if I had more this, if I had more marketing, if I had more proof points, if I had all this more stuff, right, that is going to help you get to $1 million. Oftentimes, what I've seen from the people that I work with before, more shit just means more shit. It doesn't mean you're going to get any effective. You're going to get any better. We have to get really, really good at a few simple things, and then you start adding things on as well, right? So the mindset here is more strategy gives you more ways. Lack of strategy gives you more ways to fail. So this is what we want to talk about. I want to talk about scarcity versus abundance. And it sounds very biblical, but I'm still talking in business terms here. Scarcity thinking sounds logical. Really, it does at first, but it's really emotional. What do I mean by that? Here's some scarcity signs, or what scarcity says. You probably said this to yourself before. You probably work with somebody that has that scarcity mindset. And scarcity always is, oh, well, I need this client. I need this client. There's another scarcity mindset right here. I need this deal. Another one. I can't give away too much because I give it away, I'm giving all my value away. Or I need to protect my ideas. Y'all know somebody like that have that scarcity mindset? They need this, they need that, they need this, they need that. The key word in there is need. Like you feel like you need everything in order to be successful, in order to get your $1 million. That's a scarcity mindset. Why am I bringing this up today? Patrick, you're preaching today. Absolutely 100%. Because we're building $1 million company. And half the battle starts here, like mentally. Do we believe we can do this? Because if you don't believe it, get out of the game. Like if get out of the hustle game, get out of the game of life. And I'm not saying off yourself. I'm not saying it at all. I'm just saying get out of the game of trying to build something if you don't believe you can. So this is only for the people who are interested in building something, who believe they truly can, right? So once you have the abundance mindset, what does that say? It says, you don't need clients, right? Like, I don't need every client. Whereas the first person said, I need a client. The abundance mindset says, I don't need every client. What are you saying? You're excluding certain clients right here. So you're saying you're going to get clients, but I don't need them all. The abundance mindset also says, I don't need to chase. I choose. Abundance here. You have a choice in the situation, right? The other abundance says, I can share more information because my execution is rare. So what you're doing here is you're separating yourself from everybody else. Like I'm different from everybody else. And this is where a lot of people get caught up, right? They're building their business, they're building their $1 million playbook, and they start thinking, they start pocket watching, is what I call it. You're watching what other people are doing. Oh, well, such and such is doing this, and they're having this type of effect. Well, you don't know how long they've been perfecting that approach in order to get there, right? What you have, it could be totally different from what they had. Y'all could go after the same target audience, but your message is different. Your proof points are different. Your work strategies are different. Everything is different about it. You even look different, right? Let's take that into effect. So we want to have that abundance mindset. Your value, it isn't fragile. Okay. So let's stop thinking that our value is fragile here. Here's a behavioral difference. And I feel like it hits hard, but I want to share it with you. Scarcity makes you over pitch. You ever known somebody like that? You did that? You over pitch, you underprice, you over explain. I've seen so many people like that. Like I've worked with them personally. They over pitch, they working on the hard sell, they underprice themselves because they don't feel like they are providing the value that they're asking for, or they try to over explain everything. Whereas abundance, it lets you pause, listen, and then position yourself. This is going to be so important, right? Because we want that abundance mindset. We're building $1 million business, and we need to make sure we pause, we listen, and then we position ourselves accordingly. Okay. Here's a personal angle for me that I want to share with you guys. Remember this: the chat box are open. You can drop your first name, where you're streaming from. I see you, Robert Dunn, ATX YouTube. That's what's up. Thank you in the house. TikTok family, I see you. Thank you, man. I appreciate the love. Instagram family has been growing like crazy. I see all you family. Some of you guys, I don't pronounce your name because, man, y'all got these handles that I don't even know what the handles mean. Like it is what it is. Like it's something personal to you, but I see you and thank you for joining. All right. So personal angle for me is like, this is something that I have to do. I have to stop overselling. Like I remember when I first started creating content, and then I decided, okay, I was like, man, how can I generate, some quick wins for myself, create, a little few dollars to put in my pocket, right? And I was like, okay, well, Pat used to be a healthcare executive. You coach all these people across multiple different countries. You sold a big technology company for, $750 million. You was on the executive team, all this stuff, right? And then I stepped into entrepreneurship, right? And then when you step in entrepreneurship, you're faced with one, how do I make money? What's my messaging? What am I going to talk about? Who's my target audience? All these things you gotta start, facing and telling yourself, right? And so when I first started doing that, I remember that I was like, okay, well, I can help, a handful of people by doing some coaching sessions. And so I started, really selling really, really hard that, hey, I coach people, I can do this, blah, blah, blah. Here's my price point. And I got I got trickles. I got like a handful of people that signed up for that, right? Because I was trying to sell really, really hard. I was trying to sell, and I did that too in leadership. I remember like being a leader, you try to manage everybody the way you think they need to be managed, and half the time it doesn't work because you're in your head, right? I've done that before. Like I've been that helicopter leadership person, always hovering over people, micromanaging, making sure that they hit their times and when they wanted to, all that good stuff. Like I did that. And y'all see you. So Willis tapped in. He said he tends to provide excessive explanations and perceive myself as imposing my presence upon others. I get that. Thank you. Thank you, Willis from LinkedIn. Dude, that's me too. Like, right. So basically what he says, he's excessively explaining things, right? And then imposing his presence on others makes him feels like he's doing too much. And we all face that when it comes to from our leadership journey, right? Where you're like, sometimes you feel like you show up in a room and you're brighter than the room. You ever been like that? You show up in a room and you feel like you're inferior to everybody in the room. That's what leadership kind of feels like, because you get this big old title and then they pay you this money and you got all these subordinates, and then you walk in the room and you're supposed to be the guy with all the answers. So what does that make you? It gives you the mindset thinking that I need to do this right. I got to do this right. I need to talk to this person a certain way. I need to micromanage the outcome. It happens in leadership and it happens in your business. If you're doing it in leadership within an organization, I guarantee you're going to do it within your own business. Okay. So this is where we need to understand what we're doing. Like I had to stop doing that. I really, really did. I had to stop doing that. Here's the other thing too. This is really, really important to me, and I want to share this with you. Set boundaries. You have to set boundaries with yourself first. Because listen, this is what you need to understand. Every time you give time away, it's time that you're out of focus. Ooh, yeah, he said that. Every time that you give time away, it's time that you're out of focus. That's what it means. Giving people your time, meaning you're not focused on the thing that you wanted to do. The thing that we're doing here is we're building $1 million business, and I'm building a playbook, and I'm doing it in public. But if I allow my phone to ring, if I allow the door to go off, if I allow friends and family hitting me up, just steering me away from my focus, it takes away from time away from my focus. So sometimes the best thing that you can do as you're building something, whether you're building your career, whether you're building your company, is learn to say no. No, it's not good for me right now. Maybe we'll revisit it at some other point. Learn to say no. That's going to save you time, energy, and it's going to allow you to keep focus. All right. And then walk away from opportunities that don't align with who you are, where you're going, and or your focus. Alicia, I see you. Thanks for joining from LinkedIn as well. See you, family. Dude, Instagram has been blowing up. That's what's up. I'm loving the love. I appreciate you. And then TikTok, man, consistently. And half the time, I don't even know how this looks like on TikTok because I've only been using TikTok for like 6 months. So I'm still trying to figure out this live thing, how it works on TikTok. How does it look on your end? If it looks good on your end, give me a thumbs up. That'd be great. If you're a returning viewer, just put returning in the comments. I know who to give additional love to. And remember, we're on episode 16. There's 15 other episodes. I see you, family. There's 15 other episodes. You go to my YouTube page or you can go to my LinkedIn page and you can watch these on repeat. They're only 30 minutes long, okay? There's tons of value and they're all free right now. And we know how these platforms are. Content doesn't live forever. So right now they're there. At some point they may disappear. So if you haven't checked out the previous 15, do that. The other ask that I have for you, invite people to these. I do these every single day, Monday through Friday, noon Central Standard Time. They're only 30 minutes long. I need your support. And then because we're growing $1 million business and we're growing it to 50,000 subscribers and we're doing it in 12 months. So important. Sign up for the newsletter if you haven't. There's a link top right-hand corner. You can see the scroll and banner. There's also there in the chat box. I put the link in there as well. So thank you. I see the love, family. Thank you. So here's my opinion. Desperation repels. There's so many desperate people, whereas confidence attracts. You ever been attracted to somebody and they're not even really attractive, but you're attracted to them and you don't even know why? It just feels like there's this gravitational pull to that person, right? You're just like, oh man, Pat, he's an okay looking guy, but man, I love his energy, right? Or I love his positivity, or I love this, that. You ever been around somebody like that? Because you ever been around desperate people? It feels like it's rubbing on your skin. You're like, oh, I don't want to be around that person. They're so freaking desperate. And maybe it's a family member. Normally that's where it starts. We get like a family member, they feel desperate. I always got a problem, this, that, and the other. Exactly. Smart goes. Yeah, always have a problem. Desperation repels. Confidence attracts every single time. So when we're building this $1 million business, we want to go in this thing confidently. We know we're going to have some shortcomings. We know we're going to have some pivots. We know there's going to be some shortfalls. But in our mind, we're thinking we're going to build this $1 million business. So ownership versus victimhood. Really quick, I want to tap into this because me, I like to talk and we only got 7 minutes left. So I want to run through this really quick. Victimhood hides logic. There's too many victims here. And I'm not saying per se in this chat, I'm just saying around the world, there's too many victims. If you're building $1 million business, we can't be that victim. A lot of people think they think logically victimhood actually makes them like everybody else. No. Here's some things that I hear from a lot of people that I talk to behind the scenes, right? Where's the victim mindset? There's like, the algorithm changed on me. So what does that mean? Well, I can't grow because my algorithm has changed. The other thing too, oh, well, what I sell and the solutions that I have is very niche. So what? Well, it's saturated in my niche environment. Here's another thing. Or I don't have a team. I'm a solopreneur. I'm a one-man show. So it makes me hard to do this, that, or the other. Or I'm too busy. I got a full-time job and I'm taking care of kids and I'm going to school, blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff, right? And I want to share with you guys while I was building my business, while I was building myself up in my career to become the executive that I ended up doing, I was raising 4 kids, going to school full-time, going to school full time and working full time. I was doing all of it because I had this belief I wanted more from what I came from. So sometimes you have to lean into your beliefs, what you want for your vision and yourself, so you can get what you want out of life versus ownership. So we talk about victimhood. Here's what ownership says. Algorithms, they don't block consistency. Okay. Saturation just proves that you're in demand. It proves your market is a demand industry. Ownership, time isn't found, it's allocated. Like we're not finding time, we're allocating time. There's a difference. And I just watched this podcast, really quick, a snippet. There's 168 hours in a week, right? 168 hours in a week. What are we doing with all that time, right? So you need to allocate a portion of your time. And then the other thing too, you need to understand too, networks, they're built, they're not discovered. What do I mean by that? If we're building something, we're building our brand, we're building our visibility, we're building our image. Like we're building it. No one's going to discover me from not doing anything. They discover me because I put myself out there. Think of like Justin Bieber. If y'all watched the Grammys last night, man, he slayed. That dude, hey, dude. I mean, if y'all didn't watch that, man, Justin Bieber, boxer short shirts. He went out there and sang. He sang his butt off, right? But if y'all know Justin Bieber's story, he was a YouTuber. Like he put his videos out there, and eventually people noticed his talent, and then he blew up. What happened? Well, he wasn't discovered. He put himself out there, and then people found him. See what I'm saying? So don't think you need to be discovered. You need to build your network, and then in your network becomes influence and discovery. That's how that works. Okay. I just want to help you understand that. My value here, ownership doesn't mean blaming yourself. Okay. We're not going to get there. It means taking responsibilities for your response. So we know we're going to have some setbacks. We know we're going to have some challenges. What's going to be our response? Are we resilient in every single moment? Okay. So instead of I don't get engagement. So a lot of people post content. You're a business owner, you're a creator, you're a mid-level professional, and you're trying to get visibility for yourself, right? And then I hear it all the time. Well, I don't get engagement on my posts, or people are not engaging with my ad that I put out there. Well, here's what you need to ask yourself. What am I not saying clearly enough? Two is, who actually am I speaking to? Are we getting really, really clear on who we're speaking to? Three is, what action am I avoiding? I'm pretty sure there's something that you're avoiding that you know you need to be doing, but for whatever reason, you're not doing that thing, right? So we need to think about that. And here's my opinion here. Blame feels comforting. It really, really does. But ownership, it builds leverage. What are we building? We're building $1 million business. We're building it to 50,000 subscribers. We're having financial wealth, right? We're building leverage, because when you have more of something, you have leverage. That's what it's about. So long-term versus quick wins. I want to run through this really quick because I only have 2 minutes. I want you to quick wins thinkers. If you got to ask yourself, are you a quick win thinker or you're a long-term builder? Quick win thinkers think they start switching strategies way too fast. They chase trends. Ask yourself, are you this? They quit right before traction. You ever notice somebody that quit? Have you done that? You quit right before your traction? You wouldn't know because you quit. Like you just about to blow up, but you quit before it happened, right? That's not us. That's not what we're doing. And then quick win people, they try to measure their success every single week. That thinking, the only thing that does for you, if you're trying to measure things every single week, then every single week you're thinking about one thing. You're thinking about failing. You're thinking about failure. Well, because if this is off, I'm failing. If this is off, I'm failing. If this is off, I'm failing. Whereas long-term builders, they stay born on purpose, right? They repeat what works. They track monthly and quarterly. They build systems, not moments. Okay. We're not looking for a moment. We're building a system. And a lot of people always ask me, if you missed those before, remember this is episode 16. There's other episode where we're talking about building the systems. Systems are your automations, your back-end workflows. It's your sales funnels. It's all the information that collects information and distributes it that helps you become better at what you do to help you communicate. So that's your back-end systems. So I want to help you reframe this, right? If you're emotionally attached to every single result in your business and or your life, you'll never scale. You'll never scale because you get tied too easily on this one particular thing. And when that one particular thing doesn't go right in your life, guess what? Boom, you're downhill. Oh, I failed. It's not going to happen for me, blah, blah, blah. We're building $1 million business, so we need to have that $1 million mindset. So patience isn't passive, it's strategic. I want to run through these questions really quick. Some of the questions, that people ask me is, how do you stay positive when things aren't working? Well, one, you don't force positivity, right? You focus on the things you can control. Two, you measure your progress, not your emotions. Are we progressing versus our emotions? Another question that someone hit me up with is, what do you do when you doubt yourself? One, you want to zoom out. I want to get the big picture, right? I want to get above the noise. I want to look at my past wins. That's going to be so important for me. What are my past wins? And then the other thing too is I want to keep moving anyway, even when I'm not feeling like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Well, that momentum builds up, it compounds. So I want to keep moving, right? Confidence isn't the absence of doubt; it's acting despite of it. Listen, family, I'm at time. I always appreciate you joining. Same time tomorrow. Tomorrow be episode 17. Remember two things: sign up for the newsletter. The link is right there, going to be in the bio. You can scan it with your phone with the QR code. You can watch these on replay on my YouTube page and or my LinkedIn page. Those are available while they're still available. And then invite other people to these as well. We're building $1 million business. The more the merrier, the more insight that I can get. It's going to be great. Will, is that what are some of the effects time management strategies for individuals with ADHD and those who experience a lack of time awareness? Then that's time blocking. So Will wanted to know, what are some effective time management strategies for individuals with ADHD? I feel like that's me, Will. I feel like that's really, really me. Like, I get super excited and I can't sit still. Time management, I mean, blocking your time, and every single block, you know what you're going to do within that block of time. That's going to be so important, because that way you're not rambled. You stay focused on that specific activities within that particular block. So I would tell you to do some block management, and each block has a title. I'm going to do this in this block, and that block is 30 minutes to an hour, whatever that time is. But block your time. That's going to help you get to where you want to get and get past that ADHD. Anyway, thank you, family. I appreciate you guys joining. Until tomorrow, let's keep hustling. Let's get it. Happy Groundhog Day. Happy Black History Month. Let's get it.